Hello everyone, it's Alex. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. So today, as you guys can see from the title, we're doing something different and fun. At least I haven't done this. Not that I can remember if I've ever done this. But I wanted to do a review on the e.l.f. JKissa palette, but I wanted to do something different and fun with it. So what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to do a palette bingo with it while I am reviewing the palette for you guys. So that way you guys can kind of see a different aspect. You could see the shadows being put on randomly, not me specifically choosing them, and you guys can hear what I have to say about the palette. I've been using this palette. I have touched every single shadow in here, and I have actually posted some of my looks on my Insta story. So if you are interested in seeing more looks future-wise for any other palette, I would highly recommend you guys check me out on my Insta stories. That way you guys can see how it looks on my eyes differently. So that's what we're gonna do today. So I'm gonna randomly choose these, but before we get into this palette bingo review, I don't know what I'm going to call it yet. If you're new to my channel, welcome to the familia. My name is Alejandra. I'm an eyeshadow enthusiast with a dash of Project Pan. If that is something that interests you, subscribe, join us. And now without further ado, let's go on and pick these random shadows. Now, I apologize for my hair. I tried to do that mermaid braid thing, and I don't think I'm made for it, to be honest with you guys. My hair ain't good for it, so I'm sorry about my hair, whatever. It is what it is. I tried to fix it, and this is the best that I could do. So we're going to pick the 5 random shadows that we're going to be using on here. As you guys can clearly see, the bottom row is the only one that has shimmer. So I don't know how many mattes we're going to do. So there's 18 shadows in total. So we're going to randomize the shadows. And as you guys know, I always go across. That way I have more of a variety. So there are 18 shades. So let's just move it along. Number 4, which is this matte green right over here called Peaky. So that is the first shade, and that is absolutely stunning. The next one is number 5, which is the blue one right next to it, which is right over here called Cannoli. Look at that, yes. I will have everything that I normally would have in a review, so don't worry. I have all these swatched as well for you guys. Number 8. So we have 6, 7, 8, which is this shadow right over here called Zuma. Okay, so far we have 3 mattes. That's actually pretty cool. Next shadow, oh, we already have 4. 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which is Tank, which is right over here. Come on, give me a shimmer. So that's that. And the last shadow, please, please, please give me a shimmer. Oh, what is with this number 4? 10 I already have. 2, which is Millie, right over here. Okay, we have no shimmer shades. Yay, so I can't even show you the shimmer shades, but I'll figure something out. All right, you guys, so I ended up with 2 of the greens, 2 of the oranges, and 1 blue. So as I do this palette bingo, I will speak to you guys. I have my notes in front of me, so if you guys see me looking to the side or something, it's because I'm reading my notes. I just want to make sure I have everything for you guys. All right, so I'm going to start out with Millie. I have no idea what I'm going to do. So we'll start out with Millie first. So this palette, I will talk to you guys as I do my look. This palette is $20. It is available at e.l.f. and currently also available at Ulta. So if you want to use your points or prefer to shop at Ulta and see it in person, I don't know if it's in store, but I know they have it. So it is $20, and I'm sure you can get a coupon code or something, because that's what I ended up happening with the e.l.f. website anyway. It does come with stickers, so this area right here, you can decorate it with the stickers of it. There's 18 shadows, as you guys saw. And the bottom row is the row that has all of the metallic shimmer, and some of these are a loose pressed type of formula where they're kind of more sheer and they look more glistening on the eyes. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a pressed glitter, but it does have more of like this glisten to it, and I did wear all of them obviously on my eyes. Some of the proceeds, I don't know exactly how much of the proceeds of this palette will be donated to shelter dogs in Angel City, which I'm assuming is Los Angeles. Obviously this was in collaboration with JKissa. This is completely cruelty free and Vegan. This is my first palette that I've ever purchased that is like this from e.l.f. So this is my first experience with it, and I'm pretty sure that this is not exactly all of the palettes will look like this. Like, I don't think the formula will be the same as far as these 18 pan palettes, even like across the board. I think that they made this one a little bit better from what I have been noticing. I'm gonna go with Peaky, which is right over here. Put my hair back a little bit. All right. I do like the fact that this palette does bring this huge mirror here, so I can actually use it. It is a nice sturdy plastic, so it's not this cheapy flimsy plastic, and you guys can clearly see that these mattes are pigmented and they do pack a punch. Like, you got to start out slow with them and then build up. You do get powder kick up. If you do have a tacky base, I can see these mattes sticking and you having a hard time blending these out. So do be careful with that. I can definitely tell that that would happen. So I would highly recommend that if you are going to use this palette, to not use too much of a tacky base on here. As far as the shimmers go, I feel like there's two shimmers in here, which are these two right here. These are your typical shimmers, your foiled kind of feeling ones. They pack a punch, but if you wet them, they'll be a little bit better. These three, this blue Bailey, this one, and this one, have more of a pack of a punch. They're more of that foily type of dimethicone formula to them. And then this one, Suki, is the one that I wanted to mention that has more of like a glitter glisten type of formula to it. It's more sheer, but it sparkles so beautifully. You don't see too much of the orange unless you put the orange shadows as your bases, but if you do put that, it'll look more orange. If you don't, it'll look more like a gold, a soft gold with glisten in the sun. It's really, really pretty. That's one of my favorite shadows, but it is sheer, so if you were expecting that to really pack a punch, you're gonna have to put a base with that one. Okay, now I think I am going to end up putting Tank on the outer part of this with the same brush. Now before I go in with Tank, I want to share with you guys can clearly see that the top row is all your bright primary shades. Your center row is the deeper family member to them, so then you can deepen out if you want to. And then the bottom is the corresponding shimmer shades. You can split this two different ways. You can have a bunch of trios going down of monochromatic shadows, or split this in half and you got half warm tone brights and half cooler tone brights. So you can go this way or you can go this way with your look and mix and match them, as you guys can see. Now you can see that right now I'm mixing and matching all over. I like to do that, but I wanted to share that with you guys just in case you're looking at this palette and you're like, oh, that's too much to go. This palette obviously is another bright palette, but with a little bit of a difference because you're getting those metallic-ies at the bottom and you're also getting more trios than anything. If those ColourPop monochromatic shadow palettes were like too many monochromatic for it being a 9 pan, if that's too much for you, this might be something for you because it's only 3. So you can just have a monochromatic when you feel like it, but you can also add something to it if you wanted to with this palette. And I gotta tell you, the quality of this is really good. For e.l.f., I was not expecting this. But again, I feel like it is going to be good because it's a collaboration, so they kind of upped their formula compared to the other ones, because I've never heard anybody tell me that the other formula, all the shadows have been great, and with this one, all the shadows have been great. I don't find one not performing the way it should. I don't find one that I didn't like, that I didn't expect. If anything, I got great surprises out of these. So I am very happy with this one. For it being my very first 18 pan e.l.f. palette, I'm happy with it. I'm not complaining. It's looking a little rough, but don't worry. Now we're going to go in with Zuma, which is that darker one, and we're going to blend it in the crease area. So I can blend out Millie with it, but just darken it up a little bit. So we're just going to gently buff this in just to up that ante in there. Now you're probably wondering, well, Alex, who would like this palette? If you're a cruelty-free vegan individual and you've been looking for a palette that has color to it, this would be nice. If you were annoyed with the monochromatic palettes from ColourPop because you felt like you were never going to get use out of them, it's too many shades in one place for it to be monochromatic, because you got to keep in mind when you have a monochromatic palette, your looks are not going to be too much of a variety. It's going to be the same type of genre because you're sticking to one shade family. So your looks are not going to be like this where you're going to get different looks within it. So if you felt like that was too much but you still wanted to have those colors, maybe this might be it. If you want the metallic row but you don't want too many metallics and you wanted more mattes, this might be it for you. Obviously if you don't want color, don't get this. If you don't feel the need like you need another rainbow palette, don't get this one. The only thing I wish this palette had was a row of pink. I wanted pink, and I know that's just a personal preference because I think the pinks will look beautiful with either the blues or the pinks, or even like I think it would look so nice. So I'm personally missing a row of pinks. It's the one thing I wish this palette had, but again, I have so many palettes I could just pull something in for that. That's not a big deal. I'm just gonna try to blend this without adding any more. You guys can see how nice these blend out. I only use my Urban Decay primer potion, and then I did use my Jordana almond shadow stick just to set it, but I let it air set. I didn't powder it down or anything. I just let this set on its own, my primers, and you guys can see that it blends out really nice. Again, if you have a tacky base, I would steer away or use the minimum amount or let it dry out or set it, because you may not like it, because then it won't blend out as nice, honestly. I'm going to show you guys that you see the powder kick up on this. Like you can see that there's powder kick up on here. So you're not going to get like a full no powdery, but it's the formula on these mattes are not the normal mattes that I'm used to with e.l.f. I feel like these are a lot more firmly pressed, but you're getting the saturation that you need out of the shadow, and you're still getting powder kick up, but it's not too much where it's everywhere on the palette. You guys have seen how I've been using it. So now I'm going to grab Cannoli and put this on the lower lash line, which is the last color that we have in this palette. I'm going to add a shimmer because I just can't not do a look without adding a shimmer to this look. So we're gonna put something in there, okay? So I'm just going to grab, and you guys can see, like, look at that. The colors are intense in this. It's really, really pretty. I like these. I would highly recommend starting out slow, as you guys can see, and then build up your color, so that way you ain't making, it's harder to fix a mistake when you're doing a colorful look than it is with a neutral look. So you got to bear that in mind when you're doing colorful looks. Look at that. Again, I've not found one shadow in here that I did not like at all. All of them are very, very pretty. Just gonna try whatever's left on here that's orange. I'm just gonna blend out down here this blue very gently, because I don't want to get this to become a muddy mess. And that's the other thing, because you have cooler and then warmer, you got to keep that in mind when you mix both of them together. As you guys can see, I did not blend too much. I'm gonna blend a little bit out here that I can see, but don't blend too much, because then you're gonna end up with a grayish type of shadow, which is not the intention. So I'm just gonna look at these edges over here. You guys can see right there. See that part right there? It's starting to look a little bit muddy because of the blending. See, you just gotta be a little bit careful with these when you're mixing the cool and the warm. So now for the shimmer shade, I think I'm gonna put it in the center. Let's go with Fiery. You know what? Yeah, let's go with Fiery, this yellow one right here. And I'm only gonna put it in the center. So I'm gonna grab a different brush and just put this right here in the center. Kind of like a halo look in a way. I know I'm adding a 6 shadow, but I wanted to share with you guys because of course it's my luck not to get a shimmer shade. Other people would end up getting like all 5 shimmer shades and I didn't get one. So I wanted to at least showcase one for you guys. This one's more of that, you see it's not super chunky. This one's the most chunkiest one you're gonna get. Then followed by the red, blue, and then the purple's the least one, and then these are not chunky by any means. These are more like that foiled metallic-y shadow. You don't have to wet these, as you guys can see. They're more than pigmented enough that you don't need to wet these, but you can for more of an intense look. And you definitely could get an eye that pops. See? I think that just looks so much nicer when you have something there to kind of separate both of these. Oh, yeah. All right. All right, you guys. So now let me just do my mascara, my lashes, my lips, and then I'll come back and wrap up this whole entire palette review, palette bingo kind of thing. Okay? Okay. All right, guys, so that is the look. I added my Lancome liner, which is this shade, on my waterline to make that blue stand out. Put my mascara on, and then I use Urban Decay's Fuel lipstick to kind of tie the warmth of the orange to my lips. So that is the look, you guys. I had so much fun doing this. Again, if this is a palette that you're interested in, I would highly recommend it. There's not one shadow in here that I would say is a dud, or shadows in general. You can do a lot with this palette. I know it's another rainbow palette, but it's a little bit different because you're getting trios, you're getting cools and warms all in one shot. You're getting deepening shadows as well as metallic. So it's a little bit different. I do appreciate it. I did not get her first collab, and I really wanted to jump on this. I don't know if the rest of the 18 pan e.l.f. palettes will be the same formula as this one. Something tells me they're not, because I always remember hearing people say that there's hit or misses in those palettes, and with this one I did not find one miss. It was really, really good. So if anything that I mentioned is something that interests you, I would recommend it. I would definitely get it. Ulta has it currently. I just checked today, as well as e.l.f. I don't know how long this is going to be, if this is a limited edition, if it's going to be around for a while, or just for a limited amount of time. So that is something to look into if you are interested in it, so you guys can kind of guide yourselves into when you want to purchase it, if you do, or as a gift. I really want to know if you guys loved this style of review. I can mix this kind of style of review with my typical style that I do eyeshadow palettes review, where I actually review the palette and throw in the demo. This time I wanted to do it a little bit different, and I had fun doing it, but I wanted to let you give me your input. Do you like this way? If you don't like this way, I will just completely chuck it. But I had fun because I was able to randomly choose shadows, and you guys can see them firsthand, how I would apply them, how they applied on my eyes, how to mix and match and not just stick to a safe type of area in the palette. And that way you guys can kind of understand the palette a little bit more. So I had fun doing it this way, but if you guys don't like it, I won't. I'll stick to my original review way of doing eyeshadow palettes. If you do like it, I'll throw this type of style here and there within, so then you don't getting the same repetitive review type of style of video. So let me know in the comment section, you guys. I really would appreciate it. I will link this palette down in the description box. I'll add more videos right over here for your enjoyment. Until then, bye guys.